They call me Mr. Glass. Welcome to Primary Technology, the show about the tech news that matters. Apple dialed back its liquid glass design in the latest beta, so we're going to get into that. Is the F1 movie that good? It's making a lot at the box office. Bluesky is trying really hard to be X, and a ton more. Plus, we have a very special guest. This episode is brought to you by Agntcy and 1Password. I'm one of your hosts, Steven Robles, joined as always by Jason. How's it going, Jason?
It's good. It's very good. I have to turn the air conditioning off.
All right, I'm going to cut you off immediately because we have a very special guest we have to get to. I'm sorry, Jason.
I know you didn't really want to know, so I just...
No, I didn't really know.
This is my only moment. I figured I'd just stretch it out as long as I could.
That was it. You can now you can step away from the mic because we have a very special guest. Sara Dietschy rhymes with Peachy. Sara, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm getting back into the internet world, so I'm so excited.
Yes, I've been a longtime fan of your YouTube work, and then my teenage son inadvertently became a fan of John Hill's skateboard videos.
Yep.
And we made that connection. And Deep Cut, I actually have the book.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Can I take a picture of that?
Yeah, we are recording, just so you know. I mean, this is...
Oh my gosh. I'm going to send it immediately to John.
And
okay, he's going to be so happy because both of us are kind of trying new things in our life right now, career-wise. And so he has actually gone very deep in that. And you'll be happy to know that he has a 4-book box set coming out. So he went from 1 book to 4 books in like only a few months.
That's awesome.
So thank you for supporting. That means so much.
Of course, it was super exciting. Written and illustrated by John Hill. It says it right there on the cover. And lots of little fun guys on the back. He drew all these, huh? Like he came up with all these?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's super
Did you
fun.
enjoy the book?
Of course. No, I did enjoy the book. And, you know, when you have 3 kids, it's helpful to, figure out words for emotions and learn how to communicate about it. And so I was excited for his series. So I'll be getting the new ones too. So yeah, it's very cool.
He's going to be so happy.
Did you happen to know the movie quote at the beginning? They call me Mr. Glass. Do you have any
Not at all.
Not at all. Jason,
Nope.
Do you know?
I don't know the name of the movie, but I think it's the M. Night Shyamalan sequel to Unbreakable, right?
Unbreakable.
That's Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
But it's not. It's the second one, right? It's not Unbreakable, is it? Is it?
No,
what's
no,
it called?
He says it at the end of the first one. Unbreakable.
Okay.
Yeah, because then you have Split,
So
and then you
uncultured.
have. I like superhero stuff, and so Mr. Glass, Liquid Glass. I felt like it was appropriate, but anyway, we want to do some quick 5-star review shout outs. So many of you are like dumping 5-star reviews for all over the world. Thank you to desperately try to get us back up to a 5-star show. We're a 4.9 star show, Sara, and I don't know how many it's going to take.
Why did I come on? Yikes.
Wow. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we need 5 stars. But thank you for the 5-star reviews. ASIM0508 from the USA loves the podcast. No names available anymore from the USA. Go to username. He said a hot dog is a sandwich. I don't know if we have time to get into that. Sara, is a hot dog a sandwich? What's your hot take?
Yes.
All right, well, the show's over. Mac McAndrew from the USA, thank you for that. Trick202 from the UK, loves the show. This was another question, a preference question. 3-finger drag on Mac. Our thoughts, which I think is a setting like for the trackpad. What do you guys just... No?
Isn't that just a swipe between spaces?
No, it's to like drag to move a window around. You can do a 3 fingers on the trackpad, like on the... Right? Isn't that what it is, Sara?
If you have to explain it, it's no.
I mean, I use it to, swipe up to see my windows, but beyond that.
Sure.
On a Mac? If I'm doing it right now and it's swiping between spaces.
You have to enable it.
You know what's crazy? I don't think I've used spaces in like 5 years.
I also didn't either until just now. Yeah. But when I swiped, it opened it went to another.
Yeah, so my brain didn't even go to spaces. I used to use it all the time. I just minimize stuff, and I don't know. I don't even use spaces anymore. I forgot that was a thing.
We have a bunch of asinine preferences we ask our listeners and viewers about, and so spaces, yes or no, listeners, you can leave your 5-star rating review this week. I use spaces all the time. I'm using it right now because I have like all of our podcast, like I have Notion, Riverside, and my Safari tab group in one space, and then I have all my other junk in another space all the time.
Question, Steven.
Yes, please.
How did you end up to be the face of Riverside?
I work for Riverside full time, full disclosure.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If you just thought he had the best sponsorship promotional deal in the history of the world.
No, I literally I just see you as a fellow YouTuber.
He's going to be the Tostinos guy next too. He's
oh my
doing
gosh,
some pizza roll
I
stuff.
had no idea.
Were
you there from the beginning?
I actually just crossed 3 years working for Riverside. I had a whole life before YouTube, lots of other jobs, and I transitioned and I applied for Riverside. I had just started little videos on my personal YouTube channel. It was not big at all, but they hired me, and so I make videos for them, and then have my personal channel.
Amazing. I didn't even know that. Well, okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
there it is.
I don't want to derail this, but
No,
I
please.
just made my first like course type thing. It's called Studio Setup. Very expensive URL. And Riverside has a module in my little course when it comes to remote podcasting. So
Oh my good. Well, that's
Shout
great
out.
to hear. They'll love to hear that. I'll send this little clip over to them.
Perfect.
They'll
Perfect.
be
Yeah.
very
I'll
happy
send
about
you a
that.
code to check it
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah, great. Wait, so did you get .com? You got that domain.com?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yep,
this
yep,
is
yep.
this is going to be a little bit of a scattershot episode. I'm just letting everybody know because we're taking a lot of rabbit trails. How many domains do you have unused
Oh my God.
in your? Wait, first of all, where do you have them? Where do you get all your domains?
I'm a GoDaddy girl. Okay. I know that's painfully millennial,
God.
but I think all the cool kids now use Namecheap. I didn't even know that was a
Namecheap?
thing, or a cheap name or something. I don't
No,
know.
Namecheap is a thing, but like both of those are terrible. I don't know why.
Well, what do you use?
Hover.com.
I've never heard of that in my
Are you
entire
kidding me?
life. I've
Are you
never
kidding
heard
me?
of Hover. I've never heard of. I'm telling you, once something works, you just stick with it. I think domains are one of those things where once you're on one, you're not going to transfer your domains to another place.
I grossly underestimated. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I
know.
understood.
Okay.
I did not know the show was going to.
Steven, this is Steven's trauma response right now.
Yeah, that's
Just so you
shut
know.
down. I don't even know.
So Studio Setup is my second most expensive domain. My first most expensive domain that I still have, but I want to sell it. I never did anything with it. I bought it like 12 years ago. Musichustle.com. And this was before Epidemic Sound, Artlist, and I was someone just like living in Nashville, making music videos, doing wedding films and stuff. And I was like, someone really needs to figure out this music licensing for YouTube videos and stuff. But ideas don't matter. It's if you actually do it. But I bought the expensive
It's not going to be
URL.
me, but someone needs to do this.
And they did. So shout out to Epidemic and Artlist. But yeah, so if anyone wants to buy that domain, I'll give it to them for $5,000.
$5,000. I looked up primarytechnology.com is $5,000, which I'm not buying. But this is one of the reasons, like choosing a domain name is difficult. I have myname.com. You have SaraDietschy.com.
Yeah. I have Sara Peachy. I have Sara Dietschy with an H. I probably have like 30 domains, 30 or 40. So not terrible.
That's not terrible. I probably am guilty of more. I also got weird ones like I always wanted a short domain for my main website, so I got like Steven.1, which I don't even know if I pay for anymore. But
.1, it's like
.1, but also Stephen Curry ruined it for me because now people don't assume it's a PH. And so my website is beard.fm because nobody
That's
can
sick.
affect
I like that.
So,
No, I like that. Okay, people a little. Jason's like, what are
No,
these
we're
people
good.
talking
Because
about?
Steven and I just had this conversation. I texted Steven in the
yeah.
last week because I was buying domains.
Yeah,
I don't
that's true.
spend
Yeah.
$5,000 on domains, so I'm not buying yours. I'm sorry. And my question was, if you had a domain that was going to be two words together and putting a hyphen between them was like $13 and not putting a hyphen between them is like $1,300, would you buy the
See,
non-hyphen one? And I
yes.
did not. I did not.
See, I am so opinionated about this because I feel like branding is everything. I think it's
Sure.
better to have even so I had a content studio out here in Texas for like 2 years, and it was called Blanco, and of course Blanco.com isn't going to be available, but Book Blanco was, and book, that has to do with booking a space.
Sure.
Bookblanco.com. It's easy to say, it's easy to type, and it's a .com. I'm always a bigger fan of putting another word in front or after and getting the .com opposed to getting like a whatever. Unless it has to do with what you're doing. .fm for a podcast, perfect. .io for, an app of some sort, great.
AI something.
Yeah. But I have,
I'm so-
man, what's crazy? I have so many opinions about domains. We should probably move on.
All right. We'll leave it. Once I can log into
Matt.
my Hover account, we'll return to domains. But we had one more 5-star review shout out. He's still on those. Tim
My
Lozier
gosh.
from the USA. He joined during the Gruber episode, follows a lot of tech shows, but is now a member of ours. So thank you for that. It's very cool. Sarah, did you see F1 yet? Have you seen F1?
I didn't, and I saw that on the thing, and I am a fan of F1, so I can't wait
Right.
to see the actual movie. But with a 17-month-old who doesn't sleep right now, I have so much work to get done that I literally finding 3 hours to go to a movie theater just seems impossible right now. I don't know how people do it.
It is impossible. I mean, when my kids were little, I didn't go to the movies probably for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But, and this is the last time I'll say this. I got to see it in the Steve Jobs Theater because I was at Dub Dub. The last time I ever sang, sorry, I apologize. Jason, you haven't seen this yet, right?
No.
No.
I mean, I've been to the Steve Jobs Theater, but they didn't let me watch the movie. So
Yeah, they don't let you watch that. I was not a fan. I mean, I didn't really follow F1, even though the entire tech world got into it. But I just wanted to say, apparently F1 is doing well. It's got $293 million at the box office. It's still not made enough to be profitable. Apparently, it was $250 million to produce, $100 million more to market. Of course,
did they market it? Oh my God!
They didn't have to pay for those push ads. They didn't have to pay for that wallet ad. But anyway, so it's not. It'll probably be profitable in the next couple of weeks. But it's doing well. It almost got me into F1. Almost. I started watching Drive to Survive. Did you watch that Netflix show, Sarah?
That was my gateway. Yeah.
That was the gateway? Yeah.
And, they got really lucky in that when everyone got into it, it was the most dramatic season ever, and then it was followed up by just kind of Max winning every race. And so I think it lost people. But this season's actually pretty good. So again, with Baby, I can't sit there and watch full races, but I catch the recaps on YouTube, which is so lame. But I caught a few of the races in the beginning of the year. It's a good season.
I do something even lamer. I mean, I just see the live activity on my phone every race, and I'm like, there's a race. And the only name I recognize is Max Verstappen because I've only seen the first 2 seasons of the Netflix show. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's getting interesting now because Red Bull, they're not just dominating. So there are interesting things happening. But for some reason, I feel like I need to see the movie just because everyone keeps talking about it and they like it. And they're like, oh, the sound is so good in the theater. And it doesn't, I don't know, for some reason the movie for me doesn't seem, I don't know, I want to see that rom-com more than I want to see, with Pedro Pascal and
Dakota
Captain
Johnson,
America. Yeah. But
Chris
I'm probably
Evans.
going to have to go see F1 for the culture, right?
I have seen way more junket interviews with Dakota Johnson and Pedro Pascal than I have of Brad Pitt. But the movie was good. It's not life-changing. It's the best of Napoleon and Killers of the Flower Moon, Sun, whatever that movie was. It's the best of those. But
I haven't watched any of the Apple TV movies. The shows are great. I've watched several of the shows, but
you didn't watch The Gorge?
I did.
The Gorge. What is The Gorge?
What is The Gorge?
It's what's her name from The Queen, right? And
it's
Anna Taylor,
Queen's Gambit. And,
Anna Taylor something.
Anna
Taylor
Joy.
you. And
I thought that was a TV show.
No, that's a movie.
Was the movie good?
It's actually 3 movies, 2 of which are good, but there is a movie in the middle that's not very good.
It's complicated. It's very complicated. It's that one was fine. There was also it's the new one with John Krasinski and Natalie Portman, the National Treasure, but not.
What is that? I'm telling you, okay, with the whole me having a baby and life stuff, this podcast is going to be y'all being like, did you hear about this? I'm going to be like, no way.
Sarah, have you heard about iOS 26? Do you know?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have
We're going to do that next.
Yeah.
Fountain of Youth. The Fountain of Youth. It's with John Krasinski, Natalie Portman. It looks mediocre at best, but anyway, that's
I
another
like
movie.
those actors though.
Same. Oh yeah. No, love the actors. So anyway, they're doing movies.
Oh my God, 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh no.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh
Mediocre
no. 35 from the critics, but 39 from the people. Usually that popcorn score is so much better. That's bad.
Typically.
The people who don't know any better usually give it better ratings than the people who do.
Exactly.
That's true.
Anyway, I haven't seen it yet either. Do you? Another random question. I'm not typically this rabbit traily, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being influenced.
Sorry, ADHD me.
Do you have a Vision Pro? Do you have an Apple Vision Pro?
So my last Apple event that I was ever invited to was the Vision Pro event.
Oh, and you were there with Jason. Jason was there too. He was at that year.
And I knew, I was like, this is the most revolutionary, amazing tech that no one is going to use. And I think I alluded to that in the video a little bit. And so maybe they were like, we've been inviting Sarah for a while. We don't need to invite her back. But so no, I don't have one, but it's incredible. But also, who needs it? You know?
Jason did not buy one.
I did not buy one.
He has a review unit.
I still have a review unit.
for a year plus.
But I use it every day. I'm
Still,
like
Okay, for what?
really milking that review unit. I use it for computer things. I don't use it for entertainment like Steven does, and I refuse to wear it on a plane. But I do use it for like, that's how I do research. I read. I do a lot of that stuff because I like having all of the different things around.
Worst pixel density of any Apple device you have, but sure.
Oh, that might be debatable. Actually, I have some old. I got a
Well,
non-Retina
but you
MacBook Air sitting behind
Yeah.
me, but no, I like using it mostly so that I can keep telling Steven I use it every day.
Right. I put it on whenever there's new immersive content, and then that's it, I think, pretty much. Because, like, I don't know. TV's easy enough to turn on, I guess. Anyway, I was just curious. All right, a couple of news things, and then we'll go on more rabbit trails, I think. But Mark Gurman recently broke the news that Apple lost one of its top AI model executives to Meta. We've been covering this Meta hiring spree for a couple weeks, but it was Ruming Pang, head of the Foundations model at Apple. So not an insignificant person, head of the models, is now at Meta, who is paying hundreds of millions of dollars for AI researchers and people. Still trying to convince my kids to go into that field. But, yeah, not looking great. And apparently people internally on the team at Apple not happy about the rumors of Apple considering OpenAI and Anthropic models powering the voice assistant rather than Apple's foundation models.
They're going to have to do it. They're going to something has to change. You know,
Yeah.
They dropped the ball so hard. They had one job to do, and they focused on the dumb Vision Pro instead of this. Sorry.
No, they focus on image. They focus on image playgrounds instead of this, which is basically the same point, but still.
Which is now powered by ChatGPT anyway. Like Image Playgrounds is now useful because you could generate ChatGPT images. But
no, what you mean is you can actually generate images and not just weird caricatures of things that you don't care about.
Right. It's tough. I mean, I guess it looks more and more like Apple's going to look to OpenAI or Anthropic for the models. I still don't see like the long-term future. I don't know. I don't see the long-term vision yet. And Craig Federighi like just took over that again like a few months ago. So anyway,
Well, he took
I
over
wish
the
them
Siri
well.
part. Oh, sorry.
wish them well. One of the things we've been talking about the last few weeks is AI and like media literacy. And last week, Sarah, we talked about John Oliver's segment about AI slop, and he showed like clips of people being fooled by it. And I am increasingly leery of like the hyper-realistic AI videos that people are falling for. And so I'm just curious, in your experiences, maybe with family members and friends, Sarah, do you see people like being fooled by AI? Concerned?
Yeah, totally. And it's interesting because I have a very tech literate father, boomer father, and he's on Twitter and stuff. But what's been the most shocking is, yes, I'll have the classic, like he'll show me a video and I'll be like, Dad, that's AI. Can you not tell that's AI? I've had a little of that. But the most shocking thing is he literally watches AI videos, like knowing they're AI. So I think that's the most shocking bit, is because he follows like a lot of financial news and like world news and stuff. And there's a lot of like AI slop with that, where it's clearly an AI generated script and you have AI generated content. So he actually like willingly watches it. So he knows it's AI. And I think that's been the most shocking part about this, because I've seen the clips on Instagram of like the chimpanzee like hustling for money, like he's Gary Vee. I've seen clips like that and it's funny and you're like, oh, that's,
I kind of want to see that now that you mention it.
Yeah, I know it's entertaining, but I've never like sat there and watched a 10-minute AI video. Nothing a part of me is excited about that, right? So I think that's the most shocking part, is it's like, okay, will the younger generation be so averse to that? But it's all the older generation that's like, this is fine. I don't know. I don't know.
As a creator, I'm not going to show it again, but someone deepfaked me on TikTok, and there's like a clip of me looking. I don't know. Have you ever had any deepfakes, or do you like?
Yeah. And I've had, even pre-AI, I've had, thumbnails of me holding up an iPhone being used for like iPhone repair shops. And like we've had to, report it on Facebook. And so it's always been a thing. It's only going to get worse on AI. And, I don't want to sound cliche, but I do think this is where like the blockchain can actually be helpful. There is going to have to be a way where you have to verify the content that you're actually putting out. So, whether it's connecting your YouTube channel via an API, you confirming that you are you, or, your social media. I mean, I think that's coming quicker than we think because people want to weigh. Right now, I think it's easy for younger people to be like, that's AI. I don't trust that. But it's going to get harder and harder. So there has to be a way to verify it,
2-3 years from now, I feel like it's going to be indistinguishable, and that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyway, I have 38 domains. I finally logged in.
You know what? Let me get the actual number for you.
I just want to throw that out there.
Because this is the important stuff we need to talk about.
That's what people came for.
Know?
As you do
Honestly,
that. Yeah, go ahead. No,
I hate GoDaddy's interface. So maybe it's time
it's
for
the worst.
It really is. Because they force you, they make you want to use their website builder. So every time you go to the website, you have to click through like 4 different things. Okay, here we go. Interesting. I only have 30.
Really?
So 30 and 38.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I'm scrolling through. I have like 7.
I want to hear some of yours. Let me hear some of yours.
All right, let's hear some.
Let me
I was
put you
going
on
to share
the
my
spot.
screen, but I don't know if I'm... So one I'm really proud of, and I'll just give this idea out there because I don't know if I'll ever get to it. I wanted to do a podcast that was like Apple trivia, almost like a Jeopardy style, but all Apple. And so I actually got appletrivia.com. So I have that. I don't know if that'll ever go anywhere. I have all my kids' names.com.
Same.
Yeah. So Jason, do you do that? Do you buy your kids' names to me?
They can fend for themselves. It's fine.
So, wow. Okay. I thought I would be a drone photographer and have a social media account on that. So I used to live in a city called Lakeland in Florida. So I have lakelandsky.com. That's pretty good.
Love it.
It's pretty good. And the last one I'll share, I thought I might have a digital media company, like digital advertising. And I was trying to be cool with like, what does my last name mean plus studio? So I have oaktreepixels.com because that's what my last name means. And Pixels.
Oaktree Pixels.
.com. I thought that was
I don't know about that one.
All right, what's over here? All right, any you care to reveal
Okay,
over there?
I'll talk about the ones that people can buy. Okay. All right.
The ones that she has for sale.
These are for sale.
Auction. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Sure.
This one's a good one.
Oh.
Scoutingspace.com.
Space. Okay. Sure.
Is that like a Blue Origin competitor or something? You're like going out
yeah,
there
it could
looking
be
for
space.
space.
Like
A realtor?
finding creative studios near you. Or
You even have taglines for these, I bet.
yeah. I mean,
that's
it's
good.
all honestly. A lot of these are like personal stuff. Like for some reason,
Sure.
like Peachy Enterprises,
Oh.
Sarah List, random stuff. There's Hustle
What's
New
another one you
York,
wanna
Hustle NY. That was a thing in New York. I don't even do that anymore. As you can tell, the word hustle was
Got a lot of
super
hustle.
cool back in 2016. I know it's cringe now, but it was super cool.
I like the accent. What's another one you want to auction off?
Okay, a recent one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I won't do anything with it, but lastmilecoder.com. Because I was like, someone needs to start a service where you can just ship off your vibe coded projects to actual programmers and they set up authentication and payments and stuff.
Okay.
Last Mile Coder AI, but whatever. It's so, you buy these domains at 2 a.m. when you think you're a genius and then you wake up and you're like,
Yes.
I don't know about this, but yeah.
That is true.
That is why I don't have that many domains because I am never awake at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Not
YouTubers,
once.
we're awake.
Never.
We're awake.
What business
But
should I start?
because I have I have studiosetup.com. I also have studioinspo.com. This is going to be my first vibe coded project I put out there. It's so niche, it's so dumb, but I'm not going to charge people. There's going to be no users, so there's no pressure. It's going to be
Great business model.
Yeah, no, it's literally just for fun. It's just going to be like Pinterest for A-roll setups, Maybe
good.
Riverside wants to sponsor it, so we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
The users thing is really appealing to them.
Yeah.
No user base.
But I set up studios all the time, right? And
Sure.
I go to places like Pinterest and stuff or Instagram to see what other people's like A-roll looks like, but there's really not a lot out there. So you end up just on YouTube scrolling through people's sets. But Kitty, be quiet. I'm doing a podcast. But yeah.
Very, very good. All right. Well, thank you for sharing those.
Yeah.
Set up. What was it again? What setup?
Studio setup. studioinspo.com.
So
Coming to a webpage near you very soon.
We'll be on the lookout.
Yeah.
All right, Apple dialed back the glass. We now have iOS 26 frosted glass. Some have called it iOS 26 plastic instead of the actual transparent glass. You know, people are saying this is in response to all the YouTube and the Twitter commentary about how it's difficult to read. It's still very divisive. Some people are like, I wish they would go back to the more transparent. Some not. Brandon Butch's video, he does a bunch of comparisons, and you can really see the difference in like Apple Music. So beta 3 that just came out, which is likely going to be the public beta version that comes out soon, much less transparency. And you can see even there, like as you scroll, it doesn't look like glass at all. Like there's no transparency. It just stays opaque. So I don't know. I mean, I was kind of down with the glass, but I don't know. Sarah, what was your opinion? You have opinions?
Opinions. Yeah. Just Apple as a whole, I have so many opinions about the past few years, so I don't want to come off as... Usually, I've been very positive about Apple because, you know, they're Apple Silicon, and
Amazing.
the Mac team has just been like
You switched back to
crushing
a
it. I've
MacBook
been
Pro.
so exactly. I was on Windows machines for like 8 years, and
Right,
so. But yeah, everyone else is just failing miserably, I feel like. And listen, the glass is cool, but the readability isn't there. So I feel like it's a very un-Apple thing to just like do something for the fun, but then you actually make the product worse. Like, what the heck is that? There's so many more, you know.
Apple does have a history of that, I would say.
I guess, but at the core, it's all about like customer experience. Like, I would say their design, even though, of course, it's beautiful, I would say it's more user-friendly than Windows. And so I would say at the core of their products, it's always like usability. And so, yeah, I'm kind of glad they rolled it back a little bit. I think the glass looks cool, but the moment it gets in the way of actually reading text on your phone, like, what are you doing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and the Apple Music example really shows, like, if you were trying to read what was now playing, that would be distracting, depending on what was behind it. But a lot of people said they should do a slider, and technically there was an accessibility setting, like even now, where you can like really turn off the glass part, and it would kind of be opaque how it is now by default. I don't think Apple would ever do a slider to like choose how transparent you want things. Although there was one for the menu bar for a while on the Mac. But I don't know, Jason, what did you think about the rolling back?
I didn't know this happened until just now, so I'm installing Beta 3 on my iPhone.
Thank you.
I did see a quote or a tweet or some post on some website from, I think it was Parker Ortolani, who was like, seemed very disappointed that they would like not commit to this, or I can't remember. I don't want to give credit to the wrong person because I don't even remember what they said.
It was Parker, and he said it was a little, you know, to just go based off the feedback on social media and to roll it back before it even goes public might have been a little, you know, soon. But
cowardly? No, that's not the word he
no,
used.
he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
I do have a question. Like, I'm curious what you both think. I feel like this is not a characteristically Apple thing to do. They did it with Safari a couple years ago, right, where they got a lot of negative feedback and they changed it. But I feel like there is this experience that we've all had as parents, right, where there comes a point in time where your kid just won't go to sleep without like you holding them, and then you have to figure out how do I lay the kid into bed and get them to stay asleep, and it doesn't work. And the trick is, and it's terrible, but you just have to let the baby cry for a little while, and eventually they will fall asleep. And then the second night you do it, and you just have to commit to it, and they're going to cry again. And then the third night they're going to cry again. And then the fourth night, maybe they don't cry, but you as a parent have to be committed to the exercise, because every time you give in, you have to start that cycle over. And Apple used to be really good at that. Like Tim Cook could be like, no, just lay there. It's going to be fine. The transparent, you'll get used to it. Like my point is Apple used to just.
But you know what they're doing now? They're saying, come in bed with me. Come to the adult bed. We're just going to sleep together, and
That's what the parents are doing.
That's what the parents
Not Apple. I was just clarifying the metaphor.
That's what the parents, yeah.
Just wanted to clarify. Yeah. But my point, okay, so that's another
what we do with our baby right now.
whole other analogy then. Okay. But my point is, like, Apple used to just commit to a decision that was unpopular, and eventually people did just get over most of the things, right? They just got over it. And I wonder if Apple, like, at this point is like, maybe we dialed it too far. Maybe we left the transparency knob in Tim Cook's office and the maid came by and she kicked it on accident and it was like super transparent. Or if they're actually afraid because they are just facing so much scrutiny in so many different places. It's like, well, you're making fun of us because of AI. Maybe we should take away one of the things you're picking on us over. I don't know. Which of the two do you think it is?
I think it's because they're following the monstrosity that was iOS 18. I used to be a proper tech YouTuber, and I still have iOS 17 on my phone. Like, that's insane.
Really? Why?
Have not, because of the Photos app. They've
But yeah,
been
the photos are
messing
bad.
with too much stuff.
But they
But they
along.
fixed the Photos app.
They fixed the Photos app, so iOS 26 will be good. It'll be
Exactly.
fine.
So I will upgrade to
You
iOS
upgraded that.
26.
I feel like I don't know. I mean, to call it liquid glass and then nothing is glassy, it does feel like the entire main part of DubDub. Like there was a whole glass section before they ever talked about any of the operating systems, and now it's not glass. It's different shapes. Everything is really round. But
Are there other examples? If you scroll down, yeah.
I mean, this is like the podcast app.
It's
down
basically
here.
the reduced transparency accessibility feature
Yeah.
now applied
Yeah, it's basically
as the
like-
default. Yeah.
I think they should have waited. And I will, again, remind people, iOS 7 did change drastically. It was like Helvetica ultra thin on like the first beta, and then it got thicker throughout some of the betas. But I feel like they shouldn't have gone this far this soon. Like maybe wait till the public beta comes out and get more feedback. It also feels strange. Like I don't think Apple, I don't know, I don't want to get into like what they used to do, but
But Steven,
Oh.
nobody was going to switch to Android because of this. Right? No one
Right.
was going to stop using an iPhone because
Yeah.
of this feature. I mean, maybe some people, but I don't think anyone was really going to switch to it. So that means, I mean, I'm inclined to think they must have just decided they went too far, right? Because they weren't afraid people were going to leave. Because again, no one's switching to Android over glass.
I don't know. It's fine. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I wish there was.
Honestly, though,
yeah.
whatever. That's the problem. Like we're starting to not care. You know,
I mean,
that's a problem I think for Apple. Because for me, again, I didn't even buy the last iPhone. Like
you
if the
still on
most
the 15.
Yeah, if the most tech excited people are waiting a little bit, not just for software, but hardware, you know, I feel like they're in trouble a little bit. Or it's just a changing landscape. Again, people are caring less about smartphones as a whole, I think, because, hey, we've reached, as Marquez says, right, peak smartphone. But,
Right.
you know,
I do think that there's the AI thing we've talked about caught them off guard. Like no one thought ChatGPT was going to be as popular as it was, and so there was probably some scrambling for that. This dumb car project, which went on for a decade, was probably a waste of time. Vision Pro, they probably needed to do, even if anything, just to get towards the AR glasses future that everyone thinks is going to happen, and Meta is pushing hard there. So I don't know. I will say, like, the design-wise, like I don't know if you've seen the podcast app in iOS 26, but they have made like decisions where the episode artwork, like this is our custom episode artwork, it's like edge to edge. Like I guess is cool, but I don't know. Also feels kind of like different. Is that Apple Podcasts? So I don't know. There was a lot of design. I mean, Alan Dye too. Is this the first, Jason? Is this the first iOS that we think Alan Dye really had all his hands in? Like
No, he has been the head of their these software.
but there's not been a
design.
major redesign since he's taken over that.
I mean, but he's the one that ruined the Photos app.
Fair
I mean,
fair point. Okay.
and
We'll
he
see.
was in the keynote. Was it that Scary Fast Mac event or was it an iPhone event where it was an iPhone event.
The
where
Dynamic Island. He was
Yeah,
in the
you're right.
Dynamic
Thank you.
Island
The Dynamic
video.
Island one. So he's
Yeah.
clearly behind this.
goated feature. The
Yeah,
Dynamic Island
is great. Yeah,
Amazing. Yeah.
Design wise on that too.
So there you
People
go.
make
There's a nice
entire,
thing to say about it. Yeah.
nice thing.
I love
People
the
make entire
Dynamic
videos
Island.
about Dynamic Island. Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, well, we'll
Live
see.
update, like
mean,
what's it called? The
live
updates,
activities.
the
Yeah.
live activities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Steven's
there's
entire
some good
sporting exposure is
These
just the
live
Dynamic
activities.
Island.
That's exactly right. The most sports I've exposed to.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Because, Steven, you make so many videos about shortcuts.
I do.
And it seems like there are so many actually interesting use cases for shortcuts now with AI and things. Why do people still not care about shortcuts? Like, because even as someone who I dove into it like years ago, and I had, Matthew on my podcast and stuff, and we talked about it a ton. And I got really into it for a couple months, and I was like, And so I feel like there's enthusiasm for it, like maybe once a year, and people are like, this is the time. And this might be the time with AI, because some of the shortcuts that you've been building are like actually really, really cool. But why has it not caught on to mainstream?
It is still, I think, a step too far for most people. Like, it still feels too much like programming. And like the only reason I can make so many videos is because people ask for very slightly different shortcuts than other people. Like a lot of the shortcuts I make are just slight variations of ones other people have asked for. But
it's the slightly more nerdy people that are just like really excited to get into this stuff. And so there's definitely like a passion for it in a small group of people. I just wonder when it's going to get bigger.
Well, I think there's a large group that's passionate about it, but the large group just wants to be able to click a link and download the shortcut and then use it. And then the smaller group is one that actually wants to build it. And so thankfully I can appeal to both because I can build it and then just give people a link to download it and it hits them both. But it is like you have to be able to work it into your workflows. Like if it's not something that you will use regularly, it's hard to realize the value. And like I have 12 shortcuts in my menu bar that I use pretty much every day. Like for the daily podcast we started for this show, I have like 3 shortcuts for that. And it would take me hours if I didn't have those. And so unless you can actually like integrate them and start realizing like, oh, this can save me hours if I spend the time to tweak it and get it just how I need it to, it's hard for people to like see the value, right away.
What are some of those favorites that you have that do save actual hours?
So like just pulling, so the Primary Tech Daily Show, which is Monday through Friday, if you support the show, you get that podcast. I do the top 5 articles, like just top 5 news stories. And so I have one shortcut that pulls from like 7 different RSS feeds from the news websites that I follow. And the shortcut basically brings up like choose from menu options to say like, what are the articles that you want to choose? So I'll check a couple articles, next check a couple, and then it pulls the full article text via the RSS feed, sends that to ChatGPT, summarizes it, and then puts it in a bare note. So now I have a script that I can read from for the Daily Show in literally less than a minute. And I mean, just browsing those websites or even RSS feeds manually would have taken at least an hour, and then summarizing them. So that, and then I have another shortcut that formats the show notes, even for this podcast, which saves me probably an hour a week. And so, stuff like that. Anyway, I like shortcuts. They're pretty cool. Let's take a break and thank our friends at 1Password. Now, I've worked jobs in the past where I had to manage many devices for people on staff, both MacBooks, iPads, and iPhones. And I know that when you lock devices down to keep them quote-unquote secure, it can be frustrating for employees that can't get their work done with the devices that they were quote-unquote given. Over half of IT pros say securing SaaS apps is their biggest challenge. And with the growing problems of SaaS sprawl and shadow IT, it's not hard to see why. Thankfully, Trellica by 1Password can discover and secure access to all your apps, managed or not. Trellica by 1Password inventories every app in use at your company, then pre-populated app profiles assess SaaS risks, letting you manage access, optimize spend, and enforce security best practices across every app your employees use. Manage shadow IT, securely onboard and offboard employees, and meet compliance goals. Trellica by 1Password provides a complete solution for SaaS access governance, and it's just one of the ways that extended access management helps teams strengthen compliance and security. Now, I use 1Password in a team setting, and I've used it for many years. Not only are they trustworthy, security and privacy, but in this kind of enterprise setting when you're dealing with lots of different devices, get a name you trust like 1Password. 1Password's award-winning password manager is trusted by millions of users and over 150,000 businesses from IBM to Slack. So take the first step to better security for your team by securing credentials and protecting every application, even unmanaged shadow IT. So learn more at 1password.com/primarytech. That's the number 1, the word password.com/primarytech, all lowercase, and that link is in the description. You can just click it there. Our thanks to 1Password for sponsoring this episode and our friends at Agntcy. Build the future of multi-agent software with Agntcy. That's Agntcy. The Agntcy is an open source collective building the Internet of Agents. It's a collaboration layer where AI agents can discover, connect, and work across frameworks. And for developers, this means standardized agent discovery tools, seamless protocols for inter-agent communication, and modular components to compose and scale multi-agent workflows. Join Crew AI, LangChain, Llama Index, browser-based Cisco, and dozens more. The Agntcy is drop-in code, specs, and services, no strings attached. So build with other engineers who care about high-quality, multi-agent software. Visit agntcy.org and add your support. That's agntcy.org, and the link is in the podcast show notes below. You can click it there. Our thanks to Agntcy for sponsoring this episode. I want to ask you about social media real quick because Blue Sky is trying really hard to do things like
What's
X.
What's
Did you say, what's that?
What's that?
Don't give me that. You know what that is. You know what that is. And well, this is going to be my next question to you. So Blue Sky added notifications for accounts. So, like on X, many people would follow accounts for like earthquake alerts or whatever. Well, now you can get notified when just an account posts at all. So they're trying to encourage accounts that do these kind of live updates or like news updates to do it. Mastodon is also trying really hard to still do things to exist. So that's out there. You are not on these things. Is that right, Sarah? Are you still just all in on one?
Well, I've always been a Twitter degen, and I always will be. So
what is that? What is the word you just said?
Just a degenerate. I'm always on
I
it.
didn't.
I'm always
I've never heard that abbreviated.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things that like, no matter how much Elon destroys the platform,
sure,
I'm just still gonna be tweeting. I don't
know.
Never
Threads? You didn't go over to Threads?
I did for a little bit, and that actually got more like annoying and toxic than Twitter did. I mean, Threads is awful, actually. They do a fantastic job. Like, I'll acknowledge that Threads actually exists because they're doing a good job. Like Blue Sky, who's actually on Blue Sky?
I don't know. But
who
Threads
cares?
will stay on your following feed. Like I just keep Threads on my following feed.
And this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Their algorithm is exactly the way their Reels algorithm works. And it tries to find you the most it's not even the most shocking content.
It's rage
It's
bait.
the content that like cuts to your specific core,
Right.
So the only stuff I see from it is literally just like, a parenting thread.
Buy this domain from GoDaddy?
No. But like literally by the second sentence in the thread, I'll be like, oh, I need to make a video about this. This is so insane. This person is great. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? And then I'll swipe and it'll be something about YouTubers. And then I'll swipe and it'll be something about just something that like, just really cuts to, and I don't find that productive. On Twitter, I keep my profile to the following, and I will say on Threads, people are even more programmatic about how, people on Twitter, there's people on there just tweeting like me because they just have to, they're just inner dialogue is just going all the time. So they're just like tweeting out random. They don't care about the actual engagement.
Right.
Threads, it's a little bit different. People are, sorry if you hear my cat, people are threading, is that what they call it?
That's a terrible
farm
word
engagement. Yeah.
Posting.
And no one's actually doing it for fun or because they feel like they want to. It's, I need to get clicks to sell something.
I feel so, I'm so torn about it all because I still have 4 social media apps open on my computer at all times, which is insane. Like I have Threads, X, Mastodon, and Blue Sky just all open all the time, and I'll cross post on everything, and like people respond. Like there's people out there on those platforms. But Jason, you're on 3 out of 4.
I mean, here's the thing. I want to just pick up on what Sarah was saying and be clear. Threads is good at 2 things. It's good at showing you posts you don't care about from Threads in your Instagram feed, which is super annoying. And then when you post things on Threads, it's super good at showing your posts to people who get mad about your post and then reply to your post about how mad they are that you posted a thing.
But Jesus, you just
not for
trolls.
them. They don't follow me.
And why
Like,
why
Yeah.
do they not show these threads to people who would like them?
It's
you
like,
still
here's the
get
thing.
engagement.
We could show this to the people who follow
You're
you, who
100%
presumably
right.
like you, but instead we'll show it to a bunch of people who are going to be pissed off that you wrote this,
Yes.
and then they will all reply. I don't understand how that
Well,
math
because
works.
people who like it will just literally like it, and then people who disagree will comment, and comment is more.
But they
engagement
aren't
than
showing it to the people who said,
Yeah,
I want to follow this person. And
I
instead
have
they
a
just show it
vastly-
to Steven. I had a post. I wrote when I wrote that, or when I went to that Airbnb event and wrote about it, like that thread got 100 or 465,000 views. There was not a single response to that was like, oh, this seems cool. It was all like, Airbnb is killing the world. I'm like, then just don't respond. Why is Thread showing it to these people?
Honestly, that's something too, is the people on there, and I'm sure there's good people on there, the majority of them are very insufferable. Like, I know the majority of everything can be bad and is bad, but like, can we just have some corners of the internet where we can be a little bit positive or excited about things,
I don't know what jujitsu I have done because I do not get those kinds of comments. Like
That's good. Well,
mine
do you
is-
not get good engagement then?
I do. I get replies. You can go on my
Okay.
threads.
Because I feel like it's with Twitter too. The only thing that gets a lot of traction is if I like trigger people. And so
Sure.
when I'm just like tweeting about random stuff and getting, 20 likes per tweet and like 5 comments, life is good. But the moment if I'm like, ooh, this is
if
a
something
good
pops
tweet.
viral, it goes south. I'll give you that. Like,
Yeah.
I've had
But
a couple.
it's just bizarre.
It's
Like I
bizarre,
wrote
yeah.
that story and posted it on Threads about how I typed stuff into ChatGPT and it saved my life. And like the people that responded are like, you're boiling the ocean. I'm like, I don't care. I'll still be here to see it.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, Jason, they know you'll react to trolls though. That's the problem because you like retweet your trolls and post.
Oh, that's
You gotta
true.
stop doing
I
that.
do.
That's-
I do my best to.
You can't just leave them alone.
It's like, well, I found you. I found you on the internet now, and I'm just
Don't-
going to.
Just leave them alone. Just block them. Just block anyway. I want to talk about some of your Mac and AI workflow stuff, but before we do, last kind of newsy thing: this iPhone 17 Air model came out, like one of these fake, not fake, but like one of these like plastic models, and so maybe this is the iPhone 17 Air with the weird camera bar and super thin stuff. I don't know, Sarah. Do you want a thin iPhone? Super thin phone?
I could care less about a thin iPhone. Honestly, this is why I kind of stopped making like the straightforward tech videos is for some reason I can't get excited about this stuff as much as I used to. I don't know. It might be a personal thing, but
No,
I'm just kind of like, cool.
I get it. I've never got an iPhone review unit, so I've never done like one of those. But I also have never done just an iPhone review video because the coolest concept I came up with is I gave the iPhone 16e to my teenage son and let him review it, and that did well because just
That's
hearing
cool.
his opinion on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I would personally review the 16e.
I mean, I will say it was a lot of fun when every year there were like substantial improvements to the camera. I mean, that was what was exciting for me. And things like dynamic islands, stuff like that, where it's the blend of the hardware and software. But really, I feel like that's the last time that I kind of got excited. Of course, we had like, photo raw and stuff like that. But I will say the most excited I've gotten was months after it was released, and it's Apple Log. And that has been the most like game-changing feature that it's not super popular, but I think people still underestimate the beautiful image they can get out of their iPhones with shooting Apple Log. And so I think that's the last time I've been like the most excited about, things, but I don't think that's super, I made one video about it and it did well and people liked
Yeah.
it, but stuff like that, I guess, isn't for the masses to get excited about. So it's just a little harder to make videos that I am super excited about it. Yeah.
Do you film with the stock camera app or Kino or any of the fancy apps?
I use the Blackmagic one.
Oh, Blackmagic. All right, I'm gonna show you.
It's super, super nice.
I'm gonna show you an accessory. You might think this is cool. Have you seen the
Yeah.
small rig thing? So this is a wireless monitor with MagSafe.
Ooh.
So literally just sticks to the back of your phone.
That's cool because, yeah, okay.
And then it has a little
Okay.
Wi-Fi network that it puts off. And so you can AirPlay mirror to the screen. And so you can film and see the camera right there. Look at that.
Oh, that's so cool. What does it look like? Can you open up the camera? What is it?
Probably got to turn the brightness way down. But yeah, it's like,
Sting.
Shows the
I like
thing.
that. I'm going to get that. Thank you.
pretty cool. It's $65. I mean, small
Just,
rig. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I'm glad they did that because Sony Xperia, the Xperia phone,
Yeah, it
had
is.
something like that for a long time. And when I was shooting with Xperias, I was using that and I was like, oh, why doesn't iPhone have something like that? So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Okay, I want to hear about some of your AI tools or apps. I watched your video. These apps make my Mac actually useful.
People got very upset about that title, but the video
Well, I
flopped
mean-
initially, and then that helped it give a little bounce,
Yeah. What? So I mean, you talked about CleanShot X, which is my favorite screen.
Love it so
tool.
much.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, what are some of the things that make you excited? What apps were you been excited recently about on your Mac?
Yeah, I feel a little behind just because, I mean, I truthfully, I used a MacBook for a while, but I was still using my Windows PC. So I really didn't go all in, I feel like, on Mac until recently, the past couple years. And so it was kind of fun to rediscover, tools again. Like I use CleanShot X, but to really dive into like the setup apps again.
Yes.
And find like paste, and I didn't even know like those apps existed, and to just like embrace the shortcuts, and to feel like a wizard on your computer, or you're just like shortcutting everything. But I know a lot of people, in that video mentioned like Raycast and stuff like that, and
It's fine.
yeah, I just I've tried it, but I think for me, I like the learning curve has to be reasonable enough to where, you can kind of just like hop right in, and it's super useful within like 3 minutes of using it. So,
Right.
really, I don't have anything more exciting to talk about beyond.
How do you use
Oh my
ChatGPT in your
God, okay.
process?
I use it so much. It's crazy how much I use it. I think what's been shocking to me, talking to other people and just seeing how the internet has been using it. I feel like I use AI to just like do a lot of things for me. So I'm always inputting something, I'm not, or like it starts with human input, me. So I'm not telling it to write a tweet for me. Or I never really put it through Twitter actually, but say like a blog post or something on my website. I always start with me writing it. And then I'll say, hey, just like make it a little bit better, or add this or that. I find that to be the most useful. But really, I didn't finish my first thought. Again, ADHD brain, I'm so sorry. This is my first podcast in a very long time, guys. I'm out of practice.
You're doing great.
What I was originally saying was it's shocking to see so many people use it for like a therapist, for a friend. And I hate that so much because I feel like that they're responsible for the recent voice update. Do you guys use like the voice where you're talking back and forth?
Never.
Okay, I used to use it all of the time, but then they did an update with like this advanced voice. You can't change it in settings. Many people said, oh, you can like turn it off. You can't unless I'm missing it. ChatGPT voice used to be so lovely. It sounded human, but you were still like talking to a robot. So it was clear, concise, and quick. And I would use it a lot for learning. And so, I'm really getting back into just like, it's time to like learn how to code. I'm a comp sci dropout. And things were just too granular for me, when I was in college. And so now you can just do so much with it. I'm getting really excited. So I'm learning with ChatGPT and asking it questions that I would be scared to ask a human because they're so beginner and, But then they updated the freaking voice, and it's awful. It is so bad. So it went from a very smart sounding robot to your buddy. So now he's really slow, and he'll be like, he'll say,
That's infuriating.
And it's so slow. It's literally like you're having a conversation with your slowest friend. And I get why I get why they did it, because I think the most of the people that are using voice are using it for companionship. But man, I feel like the real you can get a lot of edge by just like having it be your personal tutor, and you can learn so much now. And that's my favorite way to use ChatGPT. And so that's my biggest gripe with it right now is their advanced voice. It's awful.
I never talked to it.
That's
only
crazy.
Only when I tried the Perplexity app, because I was comparing, because they introduced integration with like Apple Music, reminders, and calendars. So I was like trying to talk to it to like add reminders and stuff, and it was so slow. And I just never want to do it. Jason, do you ever talk to ChatGPT?
What about the other way too? Like just for transcription. So you don't type, but you're using
I'll type
the
on my phone. I'll hit the microphone and talk, and then send a text message to it, and then it just replies in text. I do that all the time, but that's also how I send emails. It's how I send text messages.
Really?
It's how I write articles sometimes.
Well,
I mean, I did that for like 2 weeks when I drilled a hole in my finger and I couldn't type, so I just dictated all my messages, all my articles for like 2 weeks.
That's gotten really good too. I love doing that. I very rarely I type, but half the time I'm using voice, the way Jason you were saying.
Yeah.
But then if I really want to learn something, then I go into actual like voice mode. But thank goodness that has gotten so much better on my Mac too. Like I'll literally just dictate stuff on my Mac all the time.
Have you trained a custom GPT for any of your use cases, Sarah?
I haven't, but no, I haven't. But I have videos in the queue where it's like there are some things in process. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a really exciting world right now. It's scary, but it's like exciting, you know?
Well, and this is the double-edged sword of like AI stuff. Like the generated video on social media is terrible,
Yeah.
but I use ChatGPT every day, and like for every one of my videos, after I transcribe it, I send it to a custom GPT I made for helping me with YouTube title, description, and tags. And so I'll just say, based on this transcript, give me some ideas, and I'll go back and forth several times. And it's basically an infinite idea generator for titles and
Yeah.
all that.
I mean, I will say I need to get more like to computer level doing that stuff to like improve my actual workflows. Right now I'm doing like a lot of random stuff, like talking about that studio inspo website. So guys, this is so much fun. So one of the tools I use most is V0, just because it's the easiest to really get. You don't know what V0 is? Oh my God.
No.
So it's by
Is that
Vercel.
VE?
Just V0.dev.
Okay.
Like V in the numeral 0.
Yes. So it's
I
what I'm
see.
using to make studioinspo.com. I'm not denying that it's not stupid, but it's fun. Okay, guys? So literally, it's just like a ChatGPT interface, and it just spins up web UIs. It's incredible. But what makes it so cool is it's by Vercel, which are the creators of Next.js and so many services that literally run the web. So they have the behind the scenes. So they have like hosting, like you can set up APIs, webhooks, all these different types of things. And so as someone who I know good design, but I can't create it. So it's a very infuriating place to be in. But now with AI, you can just say, that doesn't look right. Try this, and you can iterate so quickly. And it's so fun. So, I've been building just these basic UIs. But now when it comes to like the AI backend stuff, I don't want to pull the screenshots manually, of course, right? For like these A-roll studio setups. So I made a thing on the back end where I can copy and paste as many YouTube links as you want. And then it basically sends it off to AWS, the recognition service. And it detects, okay, is there human in here? Are they smiling? Is it blurry? It gets rid of, everything that you don't want. It'll output. I'm saying like I've done this. I've started to, but some things are broken. Okay.
Sure.
And then it'll just output you all of the screenshots that you think are worthy of like, oh, this is a good A-roll setup. And all I have to do is go through and like check it off. So
That's cool.
So yeah, that's what I've been having fun with, is like tools like that kind of make these little projects that I'm doing actually useful for people. Cause it's like, I don't want to build this and then you only have like 100 sets to look at and then you're done. Like I really like the idea of like automating things and like getting fresh content and stuff. So you're a king of automation, Steven. You should do some of this stuff where you build like actual web apps and then other people can use it. It's fun.
Yeah. It's so daunting to try and like do something.
I know. Yeah.
New.
You gotta be excited about it. I mean, I really feel like, I'm kind of picking up where I left off when I dropped out of my comp sci degree, because it was so dumb. I was like writing Python with a pencil on paper, and I was
That's
like,
wild.
no, and I was like, no, when are we actually going to do the things? And we just never got to doing the things. I was like, this is so dumb. But now I've gotten to the point where, ChatGPT is my tutor. All of these services make it so easy. And then these concepts, I can literally just say, okay, like, I can go into an IDE or something, make a Next.js, project, and then say, ChatGPT, give me an example project. I don't know anything about this. What does this folder mean? What does this page mean? And it's like a very non-judgmental way to learn these things. And you don't have to, it's so exciting because you don't have to go into you don't actually have to learn the words and the numbers and the letters.
Right.
You just have to learn the structure, right? So I don't know. That's what I'm having fun with.
Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. The most coding I ever did was like HTML and CSS, and so I get daunted. Like I did try a little bit of Python with ChatGPT because I was trying to figure out how to use like Whisper on the Mac with shortcuts to auto transcribe.
I just was doing that last night.
I got so close, and I was like exporting Python files from ChatGPT and trying to run them. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing at all, and
this is the thing, is you literally just have to like push through, even if
You've got to lay the baby down, and it's going to cry for a while.
Honestly,
But don't let it in your
yes,
bed.
that metaphor is better here.
Got it.
And then in hindsight, once you're doing a second time, you're like, I understand this a little bit better.
Sure.
Because I was just doing that with very simple, how people download YouTube videos from Terminal, the YTDLP thing.
Download,
Yeah. I was just dealing with an issue with that because it needed my cookies or something, and then you have to go download a blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is so, I don't understand this. And then, you figure it out and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm good now.
Did you, are you familiar with Downy?
Yeah, I use Downy.
okay.
I use Downy just for me personally, but
Right.
it was
for automations and stuff. Yeah.
It's for automations, and
Yeah.
I needed a way to only download the first 10 minutes of a video for the studio inspo thing, because I'm like, someone's A-roll, you don't need the full video. So if I'm downloading a podcast, so there's things that you can do with that.
Okay.
So anyways,
I still remember my very first job out of college. I was just learning how to build websites with Rapid Weaver. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's so weird. But I remember I'd never actually published a website and like gotten it live. But in the job interview, they were like, "Can you make us a website?" I said, "Absolutely." Like I got it, even though I had never actually done it. And so I just remember that first month of working there, I was tirelessly, because I didn't even understand like where to upload on a server via FTP to get a website live. Like I just didn't know.
I mean, I just learned stuff like that, and what's so crazy is in college, we focus so much on like the syntax and like the for loops. And ironically, that's not what matters anymore. So I knew some of that, but me being in an IDE and setting up a project was so intimidating because we didn't actually learn how to like structure a project and what does localhost mean again? Wait, okay, so this actually isn't on the internet, but this is just opening up a Chrome, on my own computer. And so I feel like I'm doing it in reverse. I feel like now I'm learning kind of all the basic structure stuff, but really that's all you need to know now.
That's cool. All right, one last suggestion, then my last question would be baby tech, if you got any smart home tech for baby stuff. But I saw in your video you talked about Color Picker for Mac, which is an app where you can like identify colors.
So good, so simple, so good.
Have you heard of the app Pastel? Are you familiar with that? All right, so I'm going to show you this app.
Is it its own app?
It is its own app. This is Pastel, and it's wonderful. But you can basically create color sets, and in the set you can like have
Adobe
all the colors.
has an app.
Yeah,
like this,
you can like copy the hex and RGB. But one of the cool features is if you want to create a new set, I can then drag an image. Like I'll drag our podcast artwork in here, and it will identify the colors in the image, and I can import that as a set, and now have all the hex codes from right there.
That's
It's
cool.
a great app. Yeah, it's a cool app.
I would love an app. I did find one website. I forgot what it was called, so I don't even know why I'm mentioning it. But I would love something. It exists out there. I would love something that helps you go through color schemes for like websites and UI quicker.
Sure.
Because that's still like a hard thing that I struggle with. Someone needs to make that.
Didn't Adobe used to have like a color wheel where you can like choose two colors and it would tell you complementary things?
Yeah, there's a lot of like
Like it would say nice things to you.
Yeah.
Like you pick your colors and it'd be very complimentary.
It's like the joke about the complimentary peanuts at the bar. This was the hold on, I'll show you. It's the Adobe Color webpage or whatever, and it's like you can drag the colors around and it'll tell you like complementary, and you can choose like color harmony is analogous or monochromatic, and then you can see like which ones work or whatever. Anyway, it's like the Adobe Color wheel.
I found it.
Okay.
Go to realtimecolors.com. This website has gotten closest to what I want.
Sales place.
I know.
Real time.
So I need something like this, but just a little bit better.
Okay.
That's my pitch.
Real time. Visualize your
someone.
Oh, I see. So you can like test.
And you can change it. And
Gotcha. Wow, their
I really
Pro
like
and enterprise plans are $0. Oh, it's okay. It's
no,
free.
so no. This is the thing. So change the colors down there. So this is like the example website.
They're not actually selling you plans here.
Yeah. So they,
I
so it's interactive. I love stuff like this. So like right out of the gate, it's interactive. That's a cool part.
That's pretty slick. Okay,
Isn't that cool?
I'll give him that. That's pretty cool.
I would love, and maybe you can do this if you buy it. Honestly, yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put those links in the show notes for everybody. All right.
Look at my cat. What is he doing? My cat.
Listen, I don't.
Judy, go get down.
You have to watch on YouTube too. See the
Wow,
cat.
that cat just talked right back to you.
I
It
know.
did. All right, so typically we do a personal tech segment, and then we usually have a bonus episode. I'm going to ask you a bunch of like, do you have the battery percentage on your iPhone or not for our bonus episode? I'll ask you all those like weird little questions. But I'm a smart home guy, and Jason has some smart home stuff too. When baby came, did you get any smart home stuff that helped? Or
Yeah, I mean, I got the Nanit camera, and that was cool until we started like doing a little bit of traveling, and then Wi-Fi cameras are pointless if you're in a hotel. So we literally just went to just like the boring old,
RF.
RF baby. And honestly, I never switched back. So I'm finding some of the old school to kind of be better, but we're just straight up, we rent. So I don't get super into home tech, but I mean, I have, Wi-Fi like plugs that turn on lamps automatically, but that's basically like the extent for me.
Okay. I know Andrew O'Hara, he was my co-host at HomeKit Insider for a while. He went crazy. He has like a smart crib, and they have thermometers now. Do you ever get like a wireless thermometer thing for baby?
Of a normal thermometer, what's the difference?
I mean, aren't they all wireless if they have batteries in them?
Yeah.
No, it was a thermometer
so
you could
confused.
somehow integrate with baby. That then like
Hold on.
No, I know, don't. I don't
Oh,
know.
is it like
You
the
could
owl sock?
Yeah, you could like see on
So
your phone.
yes, I did.
temperature
Okay,
baby.
so my baby was in the NICU for like 2 months, so we were super paranoid bringing her home at like 4 pounds. So I did go down the rabbit hole of the owl sock. It used to be super useful because it gave you real time data, but the freaking FDA came in and like all the blah blah blah. What do they do?
Stop integrating these thermometers with babies.
They basically said, oh, like you either need to call this a medical device or not.
Oh.
They wanted to keep selling to just consumers, obviously. And now it's basically like you're putting a Whoop band on your baby. So it'll give you like summarizations of the breathing over the past like hour, but it doesn't actually give you real-time data. So for new parents, I do not think it's worth it. For me personally, like it would have been helpful to have the old one. I feel like the first month when we were super paranoid. But really, ultimately, at some point, you have to like jump off the cliff of like, you've done the stuff. You don't give a 6-month-old a pillow and a blanket because they could potentially suffocate. You don't put stuff in your crib. At a certain point, you kind of just got to take the jump and let your baby do its thing, You
let the baby cry. You put it down.
For the record, I don't do that, but.
Okay. Your baby never cries? You just never
No.
put it down?
She cries, but we didn't do sleep training.
Yeah.
We basically held her until, for literally the first 2 or 3 months she was home, me and my husband did shifts of like, I would watch, like, I burned through 7 hours of Grey's Anatomy at night, just holding her in the chair. And then
but only on
switch.
captions, like you're just reading the captions?
No. That's what's crazy. She was so out of it that I literally would like play it. It wasn't loud, but I'd play it out loud. And then when she started noticing, I had to wear AirPods. But and we just like held her until she was comfortable in her, not crib, but what's it called? The other thing. Bassinet, yeah. And then,
I will say, when my daughter, she was born in 2016, so right before AirPods came out. And so any shifts that I had to stay up with her, I did watch things, but it was on mute, and I just read the captions.
Man, I will say AirPods,
I know.
so clutch for parenthood.
Greatest parenting invention of all time.
Jason and I missed the boat on that.
I am so sorry, genuinely.
Yeah, it's great now. All right, well, we're going to ask you about some asinine iPhone preferences and Mac preferences, and like dock, where do you put it, stuff like that. So if you want to get the bonus episode plus ad-free plus the uncut, unedited version, which has several gaps where I think Sarah froze or the camera shut off or whatever, that you can hear all of that or hear the silence. You can go to join.primarytech.fm, support the show there, or directly on Apple Podcasts. You get all that, plus the daily tech show, Primary Tech Daily, where I have the top 5 headlines every day. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. You can let us know where your Safari downloads are set to be. We're going to ask Sarah that in a second. Or even if she uses Safari. Don't answer that now. We're going to find out if she uses Safari by default. But we love if you supported the show. You can also watch at youtube.com/@primarytech at Primary Tech Show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.